Hey guys, this is Mark, and we're going to continue this series of videos on how the NT wife's help can be downloaded as hurt by the ASD husband. So this is going to be the second installment. The first video will be pinned in the comment section and also in the description area. So in this video, we're going to look at the ASD husband's side of things. We're going to try to decode this crushing feeling that he gets when she tries to be helpful. So let's cross the bridge into the husband's world. To get why her helpful reminders can feel like a hailstorm of criticism, we have to look at the neurology underneath it all. And this isn't about him being too sensitive or difficult or whatever. It's about his brain's operating system. So let's call the wife's reminders and suggestions pings, P-I-N-G-S. To her, each ping is a small single piece of information. Take out the trash. Did you make that call? You should wear the blue shirt. Her heart's in the right place. I mean, I'm not faulting her, but to an autistic brain, these are not small isolated pings. They're piling up. There's this cumulative effect going on. They're interruptions to him, and each one carries a hidden and, quite honestly, a very devastating cost. So let's break down what happens inside the ASD husband's head. First, there's a concept called rejection sensitive dysphoria, or RSD. Now, while it's not an official diagnosis, RSD is widely recognized as an extreme emotional sensitivity to perceived criticism or rejection. And again, you've probably lived it. It's very common in people with ADHD and ASD. So RSD isn't just feeling a little bummed out by criticism. It's an intense, overwhelming, and physically painful experience. Your simple suggestion might not sound like a suggestion at all to him. It can trigger a full-blown shame spiral, and then the NT wife is going to be on the receiving end of a meltdown or a shutdown or just a full-blown adult temper tantrum. Your ASD spouse's inner critic is probably already on a 24/7 shift, providing a constant, brutal monologue about his own flaws. Her helpful comment just serves as outside proof for that inner voice. It's the final piece of evidence that confirms his deepest fear that he is fundamentally broken, incompetent, and a disappointment. What she means as a gentle nudge, hey, don't forget the trash, can be processed by his RSD wired brain as, you're the kind of failure who can't remember one simple thing. You're unreliable. Now, this isn't a rational thought, but it's a deep and immediate emotional wound that the NT wife had no idea was going to occur. The defensiveness and shutdowns that you see in him is a shield against that unbearable pain of feeling like a failure. Next, we're going to have to talk about executive function. These are the mental skills that help us get stuff done, right? Planning, organizing, starting tasks, short-term memory, and so on. Most autistic people face major challenges with executive function. He might genuinely struggle to remember a list of instructions to switch from one task to another, or to get started on something he doesn't find interesting, even if he wants to do it. Now, think about the wife's pings in that context. Every single verbal reminder is an interruption that forces his brain to stop, switch focus, process her request, and then try to get back to what he was doing. This task switching has a high cognitive price. For a brain that might already be running on a tight budget of executive function energy, these constant interruptions are completely draining. Now, imagine you're writing a complex email, and about every 90 seconds or so, someone taps you on the shoulder to ask you a random question. You'd get nothing done, and you'd end up frazzled and furious. That's his daily reality. Her reminder, meant to help him remember, can actually make it harder for him to function. It adds to the mental clutter. He might already have a system in his head for remembering trash. Maybe he'll do it right after he finishes his current thought, but her ping shatters his internal plan and replaces it with anxiety and the feeling of being micromanaged. Next, we got to talk about the critical need for autonomy. You, the neurotypical wife, have probably realized that your husband is a solo player who just happens to be married. For most autistic people, having a sense of control over their actions and environment isn't just a preference, it's a core need for feeling regulated and safe and sane. To the autistic brain, the world feels like a chaotic, unpredictable mess. So creating internal structure is not only a key to survival, it's a key to sanity. So when his neurotypical wife constantly jumps in with her suggestions, it can feel like a direct attack on his autonomy. He might have a very specific, logical way of doing something, logical according to him. Her idea to do it better isn't just an alternative. It's a disruption of a system he built to manage the world. It implies his way is wrong. It steamrolls his sense of agency. The feeling of being controlled isn't him being dramatic. It's the genuine neurological experience of having his own self-regulation system hijacked. And this can lead to what's known as demand avoidance, where even simple tasks become incredibly stressful because they feel like a demand that's stealing his control. Finally, there's sensory and cognitive overload. An autistic brain often takes in way more sensory information than a neurotypical brain and struggles to filter it. At any moment, he might be actively managing the hum of the refrigerator, the tag on his shirt, the bright lights, and thoughts from a conversation hours ago. His brain is often running at 90% capacity just to exist. And her verbal ping isn't just a sound. It's another piece of data he has to process on an already full hard drive. If he's focused on something, he might be in a state of monotropism, using all of his available processing power for that one thing. And her interruption isn't just his distraction. It can feel like a total system crash. His silence isn't him ignoring you. It's his brain desperately trying to allocate resources to your requests without losing everything else. And the shutdown that sometimes follows is basically a computer's blue screen of death. The system is overloaded and has to reboot. So when he says her help feels crushing, he means it. It's the weight of perceived rejection, the drain of task switching, the violation of his autonomy, and the final straw on his sensory capacity. He's not rejecting her. He's trying to survive the unintended impact of her communication. So this is installment 2. We're going to do installment 3 tomorrow and continue this theme of how the NT wife's help can sometimes be downloaded to the ASD husband as hurt. See you tomorrow. Would you like to schedule a paid private coaching session? This will be in the form of a face-to-face Zoom call. Underneath any of my videos, you'll see this Calendly link. If you click on that link, it'll open up my calendar. You can pick the available days and times that works for your schedule. You'll get a follow-up email immediately after purchasing a session that will have the Zoom link that coincides with the day and time that you picked. I will get an email too that you scheduled a session, and I will be available on that exact day and time, and we will talk. I look forward to working with you.